Ubisoft going down. Let's watch it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to be once again talking about Ubisoft, who I'm sure can't wait for this nightmarish year to end, thanks to a lot of self-created problems, beginning with their giant flops of AAA titles like Skull and Bones, Star Wars Outlaws, X-Defiant, and so on and so forth. And also this month, they've been dealing with protests at their French division, and also they're dealing with the ongoing problem of Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Wait, they had protests? Well, I mean, French people are good at one thing. That's protesting and revolutionizing.
Now, I think you guys are aware that a few months ago, they announced this game was going to be delayed until February of 2025. And of course, during that time, that just means more expenses for Ubisoft. And it's been confirmed from its CEO that basically this delay till February is going to cost Ubisoft another $20 million, which makes it also sound like this is fixing a lot more than just bugs. It seems like they're making some major changes to this game to try to salvage something out of this mess. Now, that is something that is a very common pattern at Ubisoft, where some of its higher-ups keep making very bad public statements that are—
I know how we can save Assassin's Creed Shadows. More Ebonics.
Are often contradicting one another. We've seen that with Assassin's Creed Shadows and Yasuke in particular, where their basic philosophy behind historical accuracy with that character is constantly flip-flopping, and we've seen this happen over the last couple of months, where at one point they're saying we want to be historically accurate with Yasuke, and then the next second they're saying we want to take creative liberties, this is about entertainment and not respecting historical accuracy to a T, and then they flip-flop on that and they do it over and over again. And the latest headline coming out of this company with Ubisoft here is just crazy. So you can see the headline from that Park Place. Assassin's Creed Shadows boss claims DEI is killing game. Not only doubles down on it, but also attacks critics. This is, again, the
classic move of attacking your audience instead of making your game good and playable. We will attack the audience that you need money from to recoup your losses. Very smart move by Poopysoft.
For example of a higher-up at Ubisoft doing something that is against the good intentions of the company. They are actively sabotaging the company with these awful headlines they're producing by making these interviews. So what they're referring to here...
I can't get over this. Yasuke executing Japanese people. Oh my god, this is cringe.
Is that the boss, Mark Alexis Cote, probably not pronouncing that correctly, well, he did a recent interview with Eurogamer where he said a lot of things about the company, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and their approach to things like DEI, and it's all really bad. Now, keep in mind, this individual, this boss from Assassin's Creed Shadows, was also making the rounds on social media recently because they had a complete breakdown over this interaction on Twitter. So you can see Elon Musk responding to this tweet.
Oh shit, oh yeah, he did talk about it. Man, Elon Muskrat. Wherever he makes a tweet, it goes viral, man.
Criticizing Assassin's Creed Shadows.
That's hard,
and the injection of DEI, where Elon Musk says DEI kills arts. And as a result of that, this boss over at Ubisoft would basically say that tweet generated so many emotions that made him want to go back to the platform just to say things to Elon.
Why does a tweet, words on a page, make you emotional? Okay, I understand you're reading beautiful poetry about Shakespeare loving a woman in the 14th century or 16th century. I don't fucking know. Like, I understand that, evoking emotion through writing. Why do you feel so visceral about a fucking tweet, motherfucker? Go touch some grass.
Musk, where basically he was running through potential ideas he would say to Elon Musk, and basically he said, for me, Elon, it's just—
here we go. Where is it? What did he say? Oh, he had a bunch of hateful 3-word replies he wanted to send. He thought about it in the shower, and then he started crying and shitting and pissing while he was showering. He had shower thoughts, and then he came back to the computer and was like, I really want to get back at Elon Musk. He's such a piece of shit.
Just sad. He's just
That's translation.
Hatred. I had a lot of 3-word replies that came to mind, which, by the way, there's a lot of various 3-word combinations that would be pretty
fuck you, bigot. That's the first one I can think of.
Inappropriate to say to someone like Elon Musk as the boss over at Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's get into that interview with Eurogamer, and it's not surprising that Eurogamer and Ubisoft have combined for an absolute abomination of a interview. So beginning at the top here, discussing the current shifting cultural landscape, Cote described the current discussions around representation and inclusivity in media as an additional and previously unforeseen challenge. These conversations can
We've had diverse characters in media for a better half of, like, probably half a century, if I had to make an estimate. They are well-written characters, they are likable, they are funny, they're relatable, even if you're not gay yourself. Why is it suddenly, in the last 10 years or so, now it's suddenly a problem? I don't know. Maybe I'm just taking crazy pills.
Influence how our games are perceived, but rather than shy away from those conversations, we should see them as an opportunity, he explained. So basically they're saying we're the heroes, right? We know that having DEI associated with our games is bad. It affects the perception of our game negatively, but we're gonna do it anyways because it's an opportunity.
Yeah, because frick the chuds.
To have these tough conversations, which I'm sure the investors are loving every part of that. You're basically sacrificing the quality and perception of your game and its potential.
Sorry, my 2 cents. You make a restaurant and your restaurant makes dog shit food. It's the fault of the audience. You're putting, like, poop in there, like dog poop sprinkled in, and you know it's bad. But you do it anyway because you feel that it's correct. You're the wrong person for the person that should be eating the dog poop off the plate. You are not the audience in mind, chat. If you enjoy dog poop, that's who you should cater to, chat. I mean,
sales to push
soft.
an agenda, which they also claim they're not pushing, but we'll get into that in a second.
I don't want.
So they continue on saying, Assassin's Creed has always been about exploring the full spectrum of human history, and by its very nature, that history is diverse. Staying true to history means embracing the richness of human perspectives without compromise. For example, in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we highlight figures, both fictional like Naoe, a Japanese warrior woman, and historical like Yasuke, the African-born samurai. They're still...
The word African-born and samurai does not compute with feudal Japan. I don't... There's some cognitive dissonance that I just don't understand. I guess I forgot. Yeah, we was samurais, chat. We was samurais. It's like if they go to open new Cane's Chicken location, but the last minute you tell vegan Cane's and using fake meat, then they get mad at customers for being like, that's not Cane's Chicken, I don't want it. And saying the customers must hate animals because they don't want to buy vegan food? Yes, that's actually a pretty good analogy. You hate animals because you don't want to buy vegan food that tastes bad, probably. Yeah, the game is bad, and that means you... That's my favorite argument. If you hate Assassin's Creed, you hate black people. That's the crux of the argument.
Labeling him a samurai after all of this. They've learned nothing. But they continue on saying, while the inclusion of a black samurai in feudal Japan has sparked questions and even controversy, Naoe, as a fictional character, has also faced scrutiny for her gender. Now, I don't know where they're getting this. The amount of controversy attached to that character is like 1% of the controversy attached to Yasuke. That's the main problem. And the only time I've ever seen Naoe ever even mentioned in these conversations is basically using her as a package deal with Yasuke, saying these are the two protagonists of your game set in feudal Japan, a woman and an African man. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. You would expect a set of Japanese protagonists and one of them probably...
I've read that female ninjas did not exist. They were more like behind the scenes, like poisoners and silent assassins. They weren't like engaged in combat. Yeah, they were not like ninjas like they're portraying in Naoe. They were spies in hidden brothels. Like, yeah, exactly. They were not like, jumping on roofs and throwing shurikens. That was like, I read that wasn't a thing, and it's like an extrapolation of what it actually was in Japan. Ninjas were spies. They're not what pop culture portrays them. Well, let's just say they're extrapolating it for, video game purposes. Okay, like that. Let's take that at face value. If you put a female in as the ninja, it's still exaggerating. Sorry, I used the wrong word again. Yes, exaggerating. It's just like, how does that make sense? Can't believe Demon Slayer was historically accurate. Yeah, Demon Slayer is definitely historically accurate with its flying demons and ghouls.
To be a man. I don't think people are too shocked that one of the potential protagonists was going to be a Japanese woman, in this case a fictional figure here. But anyways, addressing that part, let's go back up here. So they did the classic move. It's pretty much a meme at this point. We saw it with Dragon Age and some of their staff where they're being criticized for their latest game being woke, and in response to that they say, wait a second, chud, we've always been woke. And that is a terrible route. I don't know why all these developers are embracing wokeness or their quest for diversity. But anyways, that's what they're doing here. They're doubling down on it quite hard and then trying to play the victim.
Naoe as a fictional character has also faced scrutiny for her gender. I hate Ubisoft so much. Just the doubling down on this. She's faced scrutiny. She has? I didn't remember seeing that at all in any of the trailers. She's just a female ninja, that's it.
But continuing on, they say this. And this is a new ground for the franchise, he noted. And he lists a bunch of different diverse Assassin's Creed characters, saying, again, history is inherently diverse, and so is Assassin's Creed and the stories we tell. So to be clear...
History is not inherently diverse. History is inherently fucking racist as fuck. Have you fucking read history? Are you fucking kidding me? What are we smoking? Are we, like, on the same planet? We go to war because of race and religion, and you look different from me, which is fucking racist. My God. Japan, the most mono-ethnic in society to this day, still has racism. So does every other place on the planet, but I'm just saying, Japan does have fucking history of being really, really racist, even if it's not super upfront about it. Japan used to be gig racist. They wouldn't let white people on the island because they thought it would infect the citizen with Western ideas. Is that true? I thought it was more so they just didn't want to fucking interact with them, but you probably know more than I do. I'd have to look into it. However, I do know they did not let people in unless they wanted to trade, like with ships and stuff in the 1600s. Yeah, like Dutch people and Americans were allowed to trade in a very specific harbor on the south side of Japan. And like diplomats, I guess, but I mean, that doesn't really count. Like, what?
Our commitment to inclusivity is grounded in historical authenticity and respect for diverse perspectives, not driven by modern agendas. So they just said 2 seconds.
They could have just ignored everyone's talking about how Yasuke is historically inaccurate, how he's a black samurai, whatever, and said that if they went the route, like if I was in charge of Ubisoft, I would have just told everyone to shut the fuck up, stop talking about it, let them say that it's fantastical, like it's historical fantasy or something like that, and just leave it at that and let people play it. Maybe it would have sold like a decent amount of money. Holy hell. Oh gosh, what is this essay? I've significantly studied Japanese history, both military and culture. Shinobi more apt to act as a spy and as informants, rarely utilized for anything battle-wise or assassination-wise. That's what I'm saying with Naoe being a full-blown assassin. Yeah, like, that's what I mean. It's like... But they're doubling down and saying that it's historically accurate is what I'm trying to get at. Nobody would have really cared. It's a Streisand effect. They're doubling down. People are getting mad at them, so they're doubling down even more. They're tripling down.
Seconds ago, pushing this stuff in their games is a bad look for its perception, but it's something important for them to do. What does that sound like? That sounds like pushing a modern agenda, and then down here they say they're not doing that. And they're also saying, again, we care about historical authenticity, where they're also falsely labeling Yasuke as a samurai in order to check boxes for their...
We've consistently introduced protagonists with diverse racial, ethnic, and gender identity. Historically, history is inherently diverse, not driven by modern agendas, by the way. Look, I love all people from all walks of life, but holy shit, there's a lot of inherent racism in the world, and that's not going to change because you think you want to write a video game that's historically accurate and then say, there's always inherent diversity in Japan in the 1600s or whatever. The most mono-ethnic society. Did they even have slaves in Japan? Black slaves in Japan. Was that a thing? History in the mid-16th century, enslaved Africans arrived in Japan alongside Europeans. Oh, shit! Are you saying Yasuke is a slave? Everyone had slaves? That's actually not true. Or they abolished them really early on, but that's besides the point. He was... Yasuke was a slave, so in the game Yasuke was a freed slave. Okay. I'm just trying to clarify. The real Yasuke was a slave. Yeah, so they brought him over, and now he's a samurai and Assassin's Creed.
DEI related agenda. In this comparison of Yasuke versus these other protagonists and saying they're all diverse. Well, the reason people have an issue with Yasuke being the main protagonist of Shadows is that he doesn't really fit the environment. Yes, he was there, but he was a very small minority of the population. You would just expect a game based in feudal Japan to have Japanese protagonists. And comparing Yasuke to these other main protagonists of other games is ridiculous because those other characters, their ethnicity fit the context of where they were. You expected these characters to have these ethnicities, and they weren't a surprise or confused by anyone as an attempt to push an agenda. But here with Shadows, that is very clear. There is an agenda being pushed. But
Nobunaga had Yasuke as a slave or a gift, right? Is that what the story is now? But he's a freed slave, so in this quote-unquote historical game, he's a samurai now, a nobility. It was a pet, no joke. Later retainer, close to a pet. Oh my god. He's their first protag that was a real person. All other AC protags were original characters. Such a weird decision. Wait, that's actually another thing. I remember we talked about this last time as well. every other AC protagonist was not a real person, but there are real references to real people in Assassin's Creed. Like, I'm pretty sure, I've never played Assassin's Creed, but I saw trailers. You talk to, like, Napoleon and shit when you go back in time to, like, talk to them and stuff. Like, that's a real world reference. But that never happened before in the series. I talked to Da Vinci. Yeah, like, that's cool. Like what? Why? What a weird narrative decision.
Continuing on, Cote's tone seemed notably different to Ubisoft's last vague mention of polarized comments by company boss Guillermo, who raised eyebrows in September when he told investors that Ubisoft was an entertainment-first company creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is to not push any specific agenda. Which, of course, all these comments seem like a great contradiction to everything both parties are saying. So you have Cote here and Guillermo saying really two completely different things about how they want to approach the company and how they want to not push an agenda.
The more you say you're not pushing an agenda, the more people look into it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You people start looking and sniffing and turning over every rock to try and prove you wrong, and it is not doing Ubisoft any favors, man.
Or focus on entertainment first. They don't really know their identity, and they're constantly flip-flopping on their own views of their products, and that is what has gotten a lot of trouble heading Ubisoft's way, because they can't really have a unified approach to anything. They're constantly saying things that contradict one another when it comes to their leadership positions. And going further, so it says here, Cote continues saying, alongside these deep-rooted franchise values is our commitment to recognize and listen to legitimate criticism as an essential part of the creative process, Cote said tonight. Our community helps us grow, evolve, and deliver better games. Today,
Yeah, better games, for sure. Chat, narrative criticism aside, the games that they've released have been so dog shit that playing them was impossible. I remember the last game they played. What was that game? Oh my god. The one with the ships and it looks like a mobile game. They're straight ass. They're just lying through their teeth. Like, put aside all the narrative, the story choice, all of that. Skull and Bones ran like crap. People complained about it, and then they found out that it's a freaking mobile game, essentially. Ubisoft released an NFT game no one played. Yeah, the community really needed NFT games, for sure. For sure.
We all, however, face the added challenge of distinguishing between genuine feedback and attacks driven by intolerance.
Oh, yeah.
So we've heard
anyone who disagrees with me and is an intolerant bigot, here we go. Sounds like my Reddit threads. You're allowed to disagree with me. I just think it's disingenuous when you start lying through your teeth and say, we take legitimate criticism as an essential part of the process. We make better games. What better games? You haven't made a good game in the last, like, fucking 8 years. What are you talking about?
Different rumors, like from Endymion and other people who claim that insiders have said that the people at Ubisoft, they are shut down to criticism. They are not hearing it from anyone. They have completely decided that all of this outside noise is not important to them. So in the eyes of Ubisoft, any complaint from the outside is just being thrown off as intolerance. I don't think that is a bold claim to make with Ubisoft based on their track record. And on top of that, we see this whole commitment to the creative process and that they want the community to help them grow and deliver better products. But again, with Yasuke, the very simple fact that just 2 seconds ago we saw this boss over at Ubisoft refer to Yasuke as a samurai despite the massive outrage, especially in Japan, over that ridiculous.
Oh, those Japanese don't know nothing. That's right. They're just racist, intolerant, and they're nitpicking. Historically accurate game, by the way. Diverse characters.
Shows they're not taking any of this seriously, and I think that's not too much of
bad.
a surprise. But listen to how they play the victim here. So, our creative teams face lies, half-truths, and personal attacks online. And they say the current climate is tough on them. When the work they pour their hearts into is twisted into a symbol of division, it's not just disheartening, it can be devastating. What keeps me going is the resilience born out of conviction that I see in our teams every day. I'm especially proud of the Shadows team for staying true to their creative vision and the core tenets of Assassin's Creed.
Literally, not true at all. I don't even play Assassin's Creed. Lest we forget, we watched a cutscene from, I think, 8 years ago of one of the Assassin's Creed, and it looks better than something that was released a year or two ago. Yeah, stay true, my balls. When your game unironically looks worse than like a generation or two before, like Black Flag, that was the game that we watched the cutscene for, where the two characters are talking on the rooftop, and it looks better than a game from 2023. Yeah, really high quality standards for sure. 10 years apart, even worse. I said 8.
Wow. The victim mentality is off the charts. They are doing everything in their power to play the victim in the situation. They don't care about feedback. They don't care about criticism. Everything is just a blind, intolerant attack on them. And they're going to keep forward with the core tenets of Assassin's Creed. Whatever that means. But all of this reminds me of a conversation on Twitter involving Emma Kent, who is a previous Eurogamer reporter and a
opinion disregarded. Previously Eurogamer. Eurogamer is literal garbage. I don't know. This better be good.
Freelance games consultant who was talking about the topic of DEI and also these woke consulting firms, where they said a few days ago, "Hello, game consultant here. The idea that consultants are forcing diversity into games is ridiculous because
I said what I said. Opinion disregarded.
99% of the time, the devs have already decided they want their game to be inclusive and just want help fine-tuning how certain stories come across."
Yeah, they come across as shit and disingenuous. That's why we have Dragon Age. That's why we have the newest Dragon Age. We have an inclusive character that's written like dog shit. What did we hire you for? What did we pay money for if you greenlit garbage to make gay people look bad? God damn!
This helps. The people peddling this conspiracy theory are fabricating rage bait content to grow their YouTube channels and social media followings. They do not understand how the industry actually works, nor do they care to learn because they are simply seeking engagement, and then they relate this to Dragon Age. But I think this is also very relevant to Ubisoft and how they approach DEI, and it's very interesting.
Oh, here we go. The people peddling this conspiracy theory are fabricating rage bait. Yeah, I'm fabricating rage bait, but your dog shit video games that you release monthly, if not quarterly, they don't sell well? Oh no! Gay people aren't buying your games? Oh my gosh. Really? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, damn. I wonder why. It's almost like they're really bad. Oh no, you made a bad video game and it's not selling well? Damn. That must be those gay people that don't get it.
Interesting with Ubisoft because it does seem like on the one hand they are doing this on their own, right? As this person says,
shooting yourself
they want to commit
man.
to this woke pandering of a DEI approach in their games. But we also know that's not the truth for every other company out there, and that these consulting firms have convinced them that this is the way they need to go to bump up their sales. And I think the proof is very easy to find here. Just look at the...
And then the people that lose their jobs first in these studios are the consultants. Because their jobs don't matter near as much as, say, like a code monkey or like an actual dev or even an artist who like does character modeling. That's why they're defending it so hard. She's gonna lose her job first because she's getting paid $30,000 a year to like write dog shit on the screen and be like, yeah, this character isn't good enough. I'm gonna write her to be more like me. Yep, and that's why we have Dragon Age.
Proof is very easy to find here. Just look at the classic clip from Kim Belair, the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., saying this.
I love this. Hello, gamer here. I love the condescending, like, mirror.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility.
Yeah, terrify them, chat. That's gonna win them over.
Possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Yeah, that doesn't sound...
Don't give me what I want. If you don't give me what I want, I'm gonna start screaming. Isn't that what a child sounds like, chat? Yeah, like that's what children do. When you're taught as a parent or a grandma or grandpa to not give into tantrums because if you give them what they want after they throw a tantrum, it feeds into the psychology. That's like basic rudimentary childcare. You're not supposed to give in. You're supposed to let them have a tantrum, and then when they're done, you go like, okay, pat on the head, it's fine, everything's gonna be okay. You're not supposed to reward them for the behavior, but apparently this is okay in video games. Make it make sense.
Like, companies...
Maybe that's why they call him Sweet Baby, but like, that's besides the point.
Are deciding to
So
employ
bad.
these woke consulting firms just because they want to. It sounds like they are being intimidated with the threat of cancel culture, and I think Ubisoft is a reflection of a systemic approach to that, right? They are so afraid of cancel culture, they've become this company that just embraces DEI now. They are actually kind of following the Bridge dynamic we've talked about in other videos where at Bridge they said they want DEI to flow through the entire company from the CEO to the janitor to the point where it's a part of your DNA and you don't even question it anymore. And that's what's happening at Ubisoft, okay? They're now going out and probably working with a lot of consulting firms and also...
I was surprised that Riv didn't bring up the video of that non-binary... I forget what the interview was, but they basically said that we will burn the video game industry to the ground. Yeah, they unironically said that. Like,
so making these woke choices with their games on their own, but that probably wasn't the way it was forever. They've been convinced to the point where they now believe in this nonsense, and they don't even have to be convinced anymore, and they will keep trudging forward with this stuff even if they know it's killing their product. They acknowledge it, and they're still pushing it while trying to claim they are apolitical. It's ridiculous. But let's read one more section.
No, this is just how normal people behave, chat. Yeah. Average Joe Schmo that doesn't like your video game, that doesn't even know what like trans and non-binary means on like a deeper level other than like surface level labeling, they don't like your game because it fucking sucks. Not because it has trans or non-binary in it. I know, it's really crazy to concept that.
Of this article. So, in quotes, when we self-censor in the face of threats, we hand over our power until freedom and creativity wither away. This echoes the selfless bravery of our Assassin's Creed protagonists, he continued. They fought for freedom, knowledge, and the right to chart their own paths, just as we, as creators, fight to tell stories that matter in a world that grows increasingly divided. Once again.
Oh, we will not be divided. They will not divide us. He will not divide us. Ah!
They're the heroes. Give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. They're just
clap.
like these heroes from
Clap.
the game. Wow, isn't that so wholesome, Chungus? I hope they get a lot of updates on Reddit for this cringe post. But you get the point, okay?
They're saving the world by making video games, man. Let's fucking go.
This article is pretty insane, and another reminder that Ubisoft is their own worst enemy. Not only are they delivering these shoddy products,
that's right.
Their leadership comes out and makes the dumbest public statements ever that are totally against their own interest as a company. I can understand why at this point that these investors are so terribly worried about the future of Ubisoft. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. A bit of a long one, so I appreciate you guys listening. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below.
Thanks, Rev. That was awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed the video,
and I'll see you next time.
Chat, check out Rev says desu. Thanks, Rev.